Today we're going to use the console and learn how to call functions. Like we were saying in class, coding is a way of giving instructions to the computer. One way to give instructions to the computer is through the console. The console lets us try one line of code at a time. I'm going to show you how to pull up the console by pressing Ctrl-Shift-I in the browser. So here I am on the page that you're at, and I'm going to press Ctrl-Shift-I. And this box right here is the console. I'm going to press this button so that I get the console to be on the bottom here, like this, so that it's easier for us to see what happens with the page as we write code in the console. Also, you'll notice there's these other words here along this tab. The one that we're focusing on today is the console. We'll get to these other ones later on. Let's try some code in the console. I can do this by clicking in the space right here. And once this cursor is blinking, this means that it's ready for me to type code in here. I'm going to type quote, hello world, end quote, and then I'm going to press enter. When I press enter, that runs the code. I can also bring up the code I just ran by pressing the up arrow. I can simply press enter to run it again. How about you try? This line here is like our robot from class. Let's try and tell this robot to do some different things. I'm going to type robot.move random with a capital R, open parentheses, close parentheses. And I'll press enter to run this code. Note that this move random is case sensitive, so you'll have to type it with the capital R. Did you see your lion move? Once again, I can run the move random by pressing the up key and then pressing enter again. Let's take a closer look at this line of code that we ran. What we did was use a function, and functions are instructions that the computer remembers. Specifically, what we did was we call the function, which tells the computer to run the instructions that are under that name. And this is what calling a function looks like. This is who we are telling to do something. This dot separates who we are telling to do something and what we are telling it to do. This what right here is the name of the function. And these parentheses we'll talk a little bit more about later. So we can see what else our robot can do just by typing robot dot. And you'll see here all the different things that our robot can do. Up till now, we've been able to move random. But what do we do when we want to move? We want a little bit more control about where exactly the robot is moving to. I'm going to try this robot.move function. So I type in robot.move, open parentheses, close parentheses, and I press enter to run this code. At this point, I'm getting an error. It's kind of scary, it's in red, but it's really okay. It's just telling us that the function needs more information about the direction and the distance, and it gives us an example of how to do that. So I'm going to follow this example by typing in robot.move, open parentheses, quote, left, end quote, comma, 100, closing parentheses, and then I'll run this code by pressing enter. And I see that it's moved left 100 pixels. I can also move up 100 pixels. right 100 pixels and down 100 pixels. And actually, I can make this distance be a different amount, like 400. And so now I've moved it left 400 pixels. Let's take a closer look at what we just wrote. Once again, this is the who we are telling to do something. Here's the period separating the two. Separating who from the what we are telling it to do, which is move. And then here, the parentheses, inside these parentheses, we are giving this set of instructions more information about how to move. So we are telling it to move left for the direction. This comma separates the direction from the next thing we're telling the function, which is the distance, 100 pixels. Here are some other functions to try. For example, we can try robot.name, and I don't remember exactly how to use this, so I'll go ahead and try to run this without any extra information. The error tells me that it actually needs to know what name I'm trying to name the robot. So I'm going to name it Leo. Now you may not be able to see the name. His name actually shows up at the bottom of the robot. I'm going to move my robot up so that I can see the name. And we see it here. We can actually also change the way the robot looks. And I also don't really remember how to run that function, so I'm going to try it like this. And it's saying it actually needs information about the image URL. I'm going to try exactly as this example says by selecting this code, copying, and then pasting it, and pressing enter to run. And now I actually have a robot. Try these other functions and try changing out the image with something that you want your robot to be. Then take a screenshot and submit it. So today we learned how to use the console and also call functions in the console. See you in class. In class, we're going to try to solve a maze using these different functions.